What's your personal ghost/creepy story? I'm a paranormal investigator part 1. Been doing it for years, and am in love with the science behind it. However, I'm also a hardened skeptic, and will do everything in my power to explain what may be happening in a logical way. I've seen a lot I can't explain, but mostly little things that don't bother me. However, there have been a couple that have legitimately frightened me. I was out investigating an abandoned motel in the middle of the night, out in the middle of the desert. It's just a random place that we found. No claims, no story behind it. Just a random building about a 2-hour drive from any civilization. There were 5 of us there, and we spent a good bit of time inside. When you walked in, it was very obvious that people had been living there at one point, with food containers and trash nearly covering the floors. When exploring abandoned places like this, I am always armed. Ghosts can't hurt you, however people and animals can, and often people are far more frightening. After making sure the location was clear and safe, I felt comfortable enough to go into the basement of the structure alone. It was a very old and crumbling basement, with shelves lining it, and I had to be careful on the stairs because they were all but falling apart. I sat myself down on the floor, turned off my light, fired up my recorder, and began asking some basic questions. I was there for a good half hour before I gave up. Nothing was happening and I wanted to go back to the others. When I stood up, I suddenly began hearing rustling from the opposite corner of the basement, behind the shelves. I turned around and pointed my flashlight over there, but couldn't see anything as it continued. I reached down and grabbed a stone, throwing it into the corner to see if it was an animal. However, it didn't stop. At that point I drew my firearm from my side and called out, letting whatever it was know that I was armed and that they needed to come out. Still, nothing changed.